Hello, my name is Ethan and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Scourge League 3.16. In this episode I want to do a build update because I want to catch people up with where we're at, and there's a ton of stuff I think people can take advantage of in their current spots in the build. No matter where you are at in the current Carrion Golems, I think some of this stuff can apply to you, and I hope you guys do enjoy. First I'm going to show off some of the endgame bosses, some showcase, some gameplay, then I go into the build update. Hope you guys enjoy it. This was a lot of fun to make, and I think this will help clear up a lot of stuff for a lot of people. Forge of the Phoenix. Tank the minnow. The Hydra. Where's he at, bro? Just trying to get the flesh offering. There we go. I tanked a minnow. I hit up the Chimera. Can I tank him? Yeah, is this like basically AFK? Let's find out. We'll put down the shit in the middle. We'll just keep up our flesh. I got a 90 quant formed, I corrupt. And now, okay, it didn't go higher. 90 quant formed to do. And then I'll go get the minnow fight after. But we already saw like a bunch of minnows and I'm just tanking them and it's easy as fuck. And our damage is decent for what we're doing. We don't need to kill this one. We need the other one. Well, yeah, we don't even need this guy dead. Wow, this is easy. They're both physical, not going to do anything. We're so fast, too. We feel so free with the flesh. Flesh offering Mistress. Is that already dead? That was so fast. Feels like they're easier than the actual map. Nice. I have a 72 quant. Boom. Un-ID'd. Huge. Nice. I upload daily. Please like and subscribe. Shaper less phase. He's slamming. I could have probably tanked it, but one down. Okay, to do Ubriziri, I did the Soul of Yugal Reflect immune and the 80% from putting a Sibyl's Lament on the right ring. And now this should be Reflect immune for Ubriziri. I am 4 under Lightning, and I'm missing some Chaos, and some Fire, but it should be fine because at least my shit won't die. I wonder if I can tank with a 73. With only 73. But yeah, we don't have to worry about this phase, which is nice. We just play it normal, which, oh, that's so nice, not having to worry about the reflect for once. So I was out of that. Wow, the fucking degen, dude. That Maven shit is so bad. Holy shit. Thank you to my Patreon and YouTube members, supporters, Stephen C., Hannes, Brandon, George, Rico, 549, The Chrome Dog, Garbar, Neon, Tridnix, Nicholas, White Wolf, Pascal. Okay, time to run this 113 Feared, minus max res, phys is fire, chain. Let's try it out. We're on Yugal by accident. Let me switch to gruthkul. I had Yugal from the... What was that thing called? The Uber at Ziri. Okay, Feared, 113 quant. Let's go. We have these two first. Okay, Elder down. Looking at Shaper. At Ziri. At Ziri going down. At Ziri going down. At Ziri going down. Shaper going down. Chayula going down. And done. Give me that 113 quant. An entire Maven's Writ. A corrupted, double corrupted obliteration. 2 orbs of unmaking. Fragment of terror. On it. Which one's this one? Despair. A triple watchstone. That's insane. What the fuck? Alright, let's get a Maven. Go off to the side, pop that shit. We throw that on the banner in this spot. I've been popped in this phase, so I'm Vaal Molten Shelling. Then we try to burst her. No, never mind. Phase. Right, up, left. Alright. Memory. Up. Left. Right. Up. Right. Up. One phase every time. Actually insane how good that feels when she only does like one attack and then instantly dies, and that's so clean. And we can probably tank hits if I had to guess, and we're safe and so strong, and it feels insane. Okay, we got the culling. Now we're trying to burst her. Okay, it didn't work. Now we go for the memory. Left, right, up, right, up, left, left, right, up. I tanked multiple hits of Cascade of Pain. I'm dead? Oh, okay. Alright, now I wanted to do a build update of the build. So I wanted to overview, like a brief overview. 186 strength, 256 intelligence, 100 dexterity, level 97. We're at 41, 43 life with 266 shield that doesn't do anything. I have an extra mana unreserved of 118. And we have 16,313 armor with a 90 phys reduction in the hideout. This isn't real against a big physical hit. No evasion unless I run a Jade Flask with increased evasion. 444 life regen. The 75 reses. 86 chaos res. We're 72 stun avoidance, so we're almost stun immune. We're full elemental ailment immune through avoidance. And we also are poisoned immune through avoidance and bleed immune through bleed immune through avoidance, and poison immune through avoidance, yeah. So we're close to being stun immune through avoidance as well. I wanted to update the build because a lot of people are unsure of a lot of things and I would like to put together a well-complete thing. So let's now, one of the first things to go with this is, what Spectres am I running and what do I recommend now? So this is November 9th. Basically, I'm using 2 of each monkey, 2 Carnage Chieftains, 2 Host Chieftains, so we're getting instantly 2 Frenzy Charges, 2 Power Charges in a boss fight, and then it takes 6 seconds, and you get the other 1. It can miss, and one of them can miss, and then you still get 3 Max Frenzy and Power Charges in 6 seconds. I really like this. It's very consistent. If you only use 1 of each in a boss fight, then you get 1 power, 1 frenzy, and you have to wait 6 seconds for the other one, and the boss is already dead. And so in this case, it's burst, and it's actually using the power and frenzy charges correctly, and yeah, it's really good. So then, those are my buffing Spectres. I don't use the Harpy anymore, and just a quick TLDR. Basically, the Harpy is not consistent, not up all the time, and then it requires Spell Echo that literally only supports it and not the monkeys, so it's just an extra gem, and I'd rather put the zombie in the helmet instead of the Spell Echo, so I save an entire 2 gem slots because I didn't need to Feeding Frenzy my zombies in another link, and all I had to drop was Maim and the Spell Echo. So yeah, I like 2 Carnage Chieftains, 2 Host Chieftains better than the Demon Harpy personally. You can still use 1 Demon Harpy, and I don't even think you have to run the Spell Echo. It won't be the full stacks, but let's say 60% of it without having to run the Spell Echo is still decent, and it might be better than 1 power charge instantly on a boss. That's up for debate, right? But the Spell Echo doesn't seem very worth it because it overstacks it, and I don't know, and it's only supporting it. So I think I'd like to now go into my auras. We'll break it down into auras. So people ask what I run now. Let's for a second ignore the vitality, okay? So people want to run Determination, Dread Banner, Skitterbots, and the Pride. To do that, you have to run the 25% increased mana reservation efficiency here for Determination. You're on the 15% mana reservation mastery here, this wheel, and there's 2 options. You either do a small cluster with Destructive Aspect that reduces the mana reserve of Pride, or you go an Anoint for Charisma. Gold oil is actually really cheap, so you can just anoint Charisma, 2 gold, 1 opalescent, and you path to Ravenous Horde, so you still have Ravenous Horde. And this is better than doing the small cluster, because then we can do a small cluster of Born of Chaos, which is how we are raising our Chaos to 86 through the 2 Born of Chaoses, and the Divine Flesh Zabakwa. Highly recommend this combination to get the 86. It helps our elemental survivability a lot, and then that's how we got the mana reserve. Now I'll go on top of this. Okay, so then you know how I said I was able to figure out I don't want the Harpy and I don't want the Spell Echo, so I was able to put the zombie in the helmet, which means I didn't need the Feeding Frenzy zombie Maim in the weapon. So I gained 3 gems, a whole 3 link. So I was able to fit Enlighten in the build. So an Enlighten on the Pride and Determination reduces the mana cost by 12, well, the mana reservation by 12%. And then I also remembered that Vitality has a life node life mastery for 100% increased mana reservation efficiency, and I was like, determination 25, vitality 100, the destructive aspect for pride 50. Isn't this like free? Isn't this like the most efficient thing we could do? It's disgusting. So I was like, yeah, I want vitality. And then I thought, without vitality, let me show you. I had 111, well, before I had 160 regen because I had this node down here, which is an extra 2%. And basically, 111 regen, I could get vitality and go up to 444. So getting the Enlighten here and getting the, I got mana reservation on the helmet. And so I'm pretty sure in Enlighten 3 and just the tier 1 mod of the mana reservation works. You don't need the elevated. But then I was able to, obviously, with this extra mana reserve, I'm able to not take the increased mana reservation efficiency of the determination. And I don't even have the Anima Stone 2% mana reserve anymore. I went to an Avoid Stun, so we're closer for the Avoid Stun. We just need a few more jewels of Avoid Stun for that. But I just wanted to go over how I fit Vitality in. It was a little bit, it's a lot more, it's very expensive. Enlighten 4, the Redeemer Awakener Orb T1 mod, and then you have to, well, it would be Minion Life, Mana Reservation on an Awakener Orb, and you would have to then craft life or something and hope for an open prefix. It's kind of a nightmare, and if you get like minion damage, like I did first, it kind of bricks the helmet, because the minions socketed in the helmet don't want to be socketed supported by minion damage, because minion damage actually makes them have 25% less maximum life, and these support minions, you only want them to live. You don't really need the damage, you just want them to not die, so 25% less life is terrible. And so you don't want minion damage on the helmet. And that's how I fit all those auras in. A small thing I also figured out was instead of getting the extra life here, the 6%, and prioritizing the 6% here, getting this regen, I realized that I was here the whole time, and basically 20 mana, 20 int, 5 life isn't bad, and then the 8 mana is a lot, 12 mana is a lot with 8 life, and 8 mana with 5 life. So this helps our mana situation, especially when we start using vitality. So you might be able to try this sooner with your life points if you have extra life points, and putting them into the mana heart and soul, and you'll notice that you get a lot of mana without just doing mana reserve with the Enlighten and the mana reserve helmet, and maybe then with the nodes of the vitality you might be able to fit something in sooner with just point is pretty cool that there's more ways to affect your mana unreserved than just mana reservation efficiency, and there's also mana. It's very cool. So I figured last part of the auras, Dreadbanner linked to Awaken Generosity gets an extra level. Cool. Dreadbanner with the 30% aura effect from the chest plate. I don't need to use Rotting Claws anymore, so I can use a Feasting Fiends in the cluster, and it's cheaper. It was only 3x for this cluster because I don't need Rotting Claws. And that's, the aura effect on the Dreadbanner with the normal Divergent Impale support and normal Dreadbanner, no alt quality. I don't use them. So then, Divergent for the extra chance to additional Impale, 105 Impale basically. And then we use Divergent Skitterbot with the Awaken Unbound Ailment, level 5, so it gets the big increase effect of the non-damaging ailments, the Shock and Chill. I want to go over this build update. So basically, my wand had 30 fire res, and I was like, I want to upgrade to a trigger wand now that we have all this excess mana. And if you are able to get to, I think it's 90 something mana, then you're good. Or if you could fit these extra gems in your build because of doing the zombie into the helmet, or if you could fit these extra gems in your build by doing the zombie change, by putting the zombie in the helmet, dropping the spell echo, dropping the harpy, dropping the feeding frenzy, and dropping the maim, so that it's now the 4 link with the feeding frenzy. I was able to fit, technically for now, I have an entire extra gem. I'm like actual comfortable extra gem. Okay. So this gem, and that's technically not, like, if you may not even have the Enlighten or the Vitality, and then so we have 3 gems, it's kind of insane. It's kind of insane where we're at because of changing that. Seriously, it's the 3 gems because of the zombie change, and I actually recommend it, other than maybe the maim is nice because of slowing the enemies down for Blight, but you don't really need it. So, lifetap makes it so you can make the skills cost life instead of mana. And so normally you would have a problem because your Divergent Flesh Offering, when you use it in a trigger wand, goes to 95. And so I show here that we have an extra gem, and so I figured, fuck it, dude. Why not try the life tap? So now this takes 285 life, but then you just regen it because we have 400, and it's fine. See? And we don't have to worry about our mana, so then our mana is actually fine. We don't even need 118. We just need enough for our Molten Shell, our cast when damage taken Molten Shell, because that kind of costs a decent amount. 35 for this, and it lasts 7 seconds. I have a funny thing to show you about that too. And then we have our Vaal Molten Shell. And so along the lines of this, okay, so there's a lot of stuff here. We did the trigger wand, and we were able to the mana thing, but then even if you don't have the mana, life tap, you might be able to do this if you do the zombie thing, guys. So then this is showing you how the build update has revealed a lot of amazing things to maximize this build and really take advantage of a lot of aspects. It's amazing, and to bypass a lot of shit that feels bad. I figured out a lot. So basically, trigger. When you use a spell, in my build, it's phase run, it'll cast Desecrate, and then the next one. If I attack, it'll also cast it, so then it casted the next one, Flesh Offering, in order. It goes in order, and then after 8-second cooldown, it'll repeat. You can go again, so you could keep attacking, and it won't go again until 8 seconds. But the point of what I was going to say is that on a boss, before, I would make a corpse, and then I'd make an extra corpse, and then I would consume it so that there were extra corpses on the body, on the boss, so I could use Plaguebringer, because you need one extra corpse on the boss to do the extra damage and have the reduced damage, and you also would get the area from consuming the corpse right on the boss. So for now, I switched to Mistress of Sacrifice for 2 reasons. I was doing Heist and Mistress with Flesh Offering, with the Divergent Flesh Offering. Well, it's not it doesn't matter about Divergent for this. With the increased effective offering from the chestplate and the increased effective offering from the Minion Offense Masteries, 20%. So you get like 48% effect. And then obviously you get half the effect through Mistress. But let me just show you guys this. So I have 24 move speed if you trigger it, and then you phase run, 169 move speed because of doing Mistress Flesh Offering with the phase run into my flask setup. It's insane, and so this has felt amazing, and Heist has never felt better when you're zooming at that kind of speed. And then I've just kept it on because I found out that, well, I already knew this, but 50% skill effect duration feels really good when you have things like Molten Shell. Increasing the duration of your guard skill by 50% is actually disgusting. It increases the duration of the Flesh Offering to make this more consistent, because it's actually not very consistent because of the cooldown on the trigger. It kind of feels bad, so having the increased duration on the Flesh Offering makes it feel amazing. It goes from perfect, like it just matches, and it will have downtime because it's not perfect, where this is like it fixes the flaws, basically. So that's pretty nice. And then I said that the Plaguebringer doesn't work if you can't put the extra corpse on the boss. So because of trigger, I switched to Mistress of Sacrifice, which has the bonus benefit of skill effect duration and making it affect me, so I go fast as fuck. And then, so I showed that the Molten Shell has a 7.35 second duration. It's on a cast when damage taken setup as well, so that's automated. And it could have another 20% increased skill effect duration because of the quality on the Vaal Molten Shell. I also figured out that I could link it now with this new setup. I have room to do the increased duration because I don't need efficacy support on the phase run to get it over 4 second buff lasting, because of the extra 50% skill effect duration from the Mistress of Sacrifice. I was able to get my phase run to 4.41 without the efficacy, so then I was able to fit my the cast when damage taken Molten Shell setup in here, and the cast when damage taken setup requires level 38, and this is 44, so it doesn't mess up my phase run. So luckily the dex amount that I have is good enough, because if this was a lower level like 1, then I wouldn't be able to do it. And then yeah, nice increased duration here. It's really sick. So Mistress of Sacrifice change was because of trigger, but then there's a lot of added benefits, and it's not bad, and it's really cool, and it's really nice. So that's what I've done next. Yep. Oh yeah, the final thing of the skill effect duration. So we have increased duration on the Vaal Molten Shell, and we could have the duration, and then we have it It's supported by the anomalous Couch and Damage Taken, which is another 20% skill effect duration. We have the extra 50%. Vaal Molten Shell lasts for 20.25 seconds. What the hell? What the hell? That's insane. Yep. And then apparently, so you can have your Molten Shell trigger for 7 seconds, and when this is about to run out, just click your Vaal Molten Shell, which does put the normal Molten Shell on cooldown. It cannot come back up, but you have 27 seconds of basically immunity, and yeah, you can do it the other way around too. If you did the Vaal Molten Shell and then this comes off cooldown, it's fine, it works. It's just that it can't refresh the cooldown of the normal Molten Shell while the Vaal Molten Shell is active. Pretty insane, but it can refresh during the soul gain prevention, so having both is broken, for sure. You need both. An update to my ailment immunity. So I had gotten the chestplate ailment avoidance. So in the past I was doing the duration of elemental ailments, reducing it to 0, and now we got the chestplate mod from Ashling June Unveil. You do an Ashling 4, it removes a mod and adds a mod. So I got Ashling in research and did the Ashling 4. I have a video on how to do Ashling and how to farm it, but basically you can yeah, I got the avoid elemental ailments, so 33 here, and then I know from the past that I could get it on the boot, and so I did that again. I went and made the boot. I have a video coming soon about how to make the boot, but I figured I need to make a build update because people are getting confused on why I make changes and what they're for and what they should do, and a lot of these changes could be implemented earlier if they knew why I did them and what they were for and what all this. So that's what it's really helpful, I think. So this one had avoid elemental ailments as well. These are kind of like out of reach for most people. That's why I haven't like forced it down people's throat as the first thing, like a priority video. Look, I'm 100% ailment immune with this. No, the other one was actually cheap on arrival. This one is expensive because I'm using elevated Maven mod and the June Ashling 4 Unveil, but it's just showing you that these are possible. So I did it this way: 33 here, 45 here, and glove. So just like the duration I showed you before, it had avoid elemental elements too, but it only has half the power, which is why I didn't do this in the first place. But now that we only needed 20 something, we could get it through the glove instead of the duration, and it's really powerful because now we're full elemental ailment immune, which is also shock ground, chill ground. It's better technically just because of those two. And the glove is kind of shit. I kind of need to recraft it, but we'll do that later. Yeah, so that's how I got ailment immune. For poison, it's just up. So you know how I did the avoid elemental ailments was a shaper elevated mod. This is an elevated hunter mod. It was actually cheap because I think people brick tailwind and then they upgrade this mod and just sell the boot instead of, yeah. So you have chance to avoid being poisoned and chance to avoid bleeding. And so the poison, I was able to get 2 more jewels, mediums. These are my Dread March renewals. It has chance to avoid being poisoned. And then we have the avoid being bled, Primordial Harmony, and Might with the avoid bleed on the boot. So that's 100% too. And then I'm very close, but on the chestplate, there's 30% avoid stun. I have 21 here, and I have another 21 here. And so we're already at 72 avoid stun 2, and so I could do synthesis implicits on the other jewels that are more expensive, like the Watcher's Eye. I don't want to corrupt it. Maybe the Glorious Vanity Zabako, I don't want to corrupt it. Maybe the large cluster, I don't want to corrupt it for now. Maybe later for extra, because you do get higher when you corrupt it instead of doing the guaranteed harvest. But yeah, that's all of my avoidance shit. It's insane. Avoidance is so powerful in PoE. What the heck? Pantheons for mapping, I use Lunaris, gruthkul. I'm using Lunaris because I'm basically crit immune all the time with the garb of the ephemeral on the Animate Guardian, making nearby enemies not be able to crit. So I don't need to use Solaris. I haven't had to use Solaris ever since I got garb of the ephemeral. Also, this helped for avoiding elemental ailments, but I got early avoiding elemental ailments, so I didn't have to worry about this. This is just nicer for mapping and everything else, and the avoiding chain is huge for like delving and mapping. When you just put chain on your map and you have minions, chaining is bad. The gruthkul, nice physical damage reduction. Abberath for burning ground, for blight, also sometimes for deep delving. I use Ugol for the physical reflect immunity. That's it. I don't use any of the other ones currently. You could reduce shock, or maybe the chaos, reduce chaos with our Zabakwa could be nice. I've thought about doing this. It doesn't seem terrible. but I like my 5% physical damage reduction for now. This later could be nice for the, because it's extra LE damage reduction basically and chaos damage reduction. Yeah. I want to go through the gems. So I already went through like a lot of them in their packages, but I want to go through the overall. So I have the Enlighten 4 Pride 2020, Determination 2020. I found that Pride has the same radius as my Dread Banner in this build, and then the Determination without the quality had the same, but now it has 40% increased area, so it's 40% increase. It's 40% bigger than the Dread Banner and the Pride. So that's pretty cool. Vitality is also similar. It's like the Determination, pretty good. I got a Divergent Animate Guardian 2120. So this is an upgrade from the normal 21. You get the 40% increased minion max life. This gained it from 95k life to 105k life. Huge. Divergent Feeding Frenzy. There's also the other one that gives you 1% minion life leech. But I didn't want it. I think I will do it, but I didn't want it before because I wanted the move speed on my monkeys to keep up and the AG to keep up, but now I think I want to swap it. Spectre, I want to get the alt quality to get the extra 20 minion melee damage and the 20 minion life. You don't really want the move speed for them that way. And then this, I need to get the 2120 for the zombie regen. That would be really nice. The alternate quality version, but it's expensive to do these. And I need to get the other Feeding Frenzy. We have a 120 Desecrate. The quality doesn't matter anymore because it's in trigger. Then it's in order, so it matters. Desecrate needs to be first, then the offering. And then so we use Divergent Flesh Offering for the extra 10% attack speed. Then lifetap, I explained it's so they cost life instead of mana. So the trigger basically is reverted and we don't have to worry about the mana, which is insane. And then Flame Dash in my ring with Vitality in this ring. Doesn't matter which ring, Dread Banner, Awakened Generosity, Divergent Skitterbots with Unbound Ailments. And then we have Vaal Molten Shell. This can be a 10-20, but I just have a 10. It was like 50C for the quality. I should get it. And then Anomalous Casting Damage Taken, 120. And we have Anomalous Phase Run, 620. This is just because of the amount of decks I had. You might not be able to go this high, but it needs to be higher than level 1, so it doesn't link with the Casting Damage Taken. And then Anomalous Phase Run, increased duration with the Mistress is a 4.4 second duration, so it's really sick. Yep, and then I actually have a 23 increased duration. It's one extra increased skill effect duration, but it's fine. It doesn't change anything. My flask, I went for the Forbidden Taste, and this is a full heal when you take a Savage Hit, which is when you take 15% of your health in a single hit. This is also my Quartz Flask, which gives me phasing if I can't rely on the phase run, because sometimes in Delving, I throw flares, and this cancels my phase run. There's some other things that cancels my phase run. If I attack to do the Flesh Offering, it'll cancel my phase run. They're just some examples why the Quartz would be nice also, but the main reason Forbidden Taste, full heal, also, I take barely any damage degen because I have 86 chaos res and it's chaos damage per second. Granite Flask with increased armor, so with this flask 16,000 armor I go to 27,000. This flask makes me take 15% of the physical damage from hits as cold, which I have 75 cold, and then I have half of that going against chaos res, which I have 86, so it's better than my physical. I've tested this. It's a huge defense boost for physical, and then I also take less cold damage during the flask too, so the extra physical as cold gets less damage, and then all cold as well. And then I have a silver flask. This is for the onslaught, and I also have reduced effective curse. And the reduced charges is required here, 23%, 24%. The reason is you want the charges down to 30 of 60, so you can click it twice. If you don't have this, it'll be 40 of 60 and between 31 to 40, and you don't want this. You want it to be 30 of 60, so you can click it twice. The extra mod you can go instead of reduced effective curse, I think, is stun avoidance, or stun and block recovery. It's not as good as stun avoidance because you still get stunned, but it's just not as long. You recover fast. But stun avoid, if you could get 100%, it would be sick. And then the reduced effective curse, well, I find that curses are happening less often than stun is. Every hit's stunning me compared to not every hit curses me. And then a really crazy move speed flask. And all of these other ones are use on full. So as soon as the charges reach full, they just automatically activate, and I don't have to do anything. And they have an extra activation for me to manually use it if I want to. And then we have I think he found my item and he's a big fan. This is big increased effect. It reduces the duration, but then we get extra 8% move speed too, and it's tier 2, tier 3. You can get higher move speed. Did he want this? Okay, now I want to go through my wand, my build, but like my items, my gear, but I want to preface this. Some of these items I haven't shown yet, and I haven't shown how to craft them, so I'm sorry, and I will be showing how to soon. I showed how to craft a +2 wand before, so you can look up +2 wand. It's the 4-socket resonator. I show how to craft this chestplate already, but I haven't shown how I made the boot or the helmet. They're coming soon, and they're exactly like the body armor, but obviously different modifiers, different pools, different things, and different way I did it, and different RNG. But I want to start with the wand. So there was two new mods this season in Delving that we know of for minions. Minions are aggressive, and minions have 38 to crit multi. This can roll 30 to 38, and it can roll fractured already. So apparently somebody found this item level 74 already fractured 38, and they listed it on trade. I saw it 2 days ago, yesterday, and I bought it for 2x, and then I did my +2 socket recipe thingy, where you do the 4-socket resonator for the +2, and it's like corroded, jagged, shuddering, pristine or something. And then I tried it. I got +2 one time, and I tried to annul for the open prefix because I wanted to craft attack speed and minion damage, but then I kept going and I hit this. And it has the extra accuracy, which is actually nice because we're missing the extra accuracy because of the level of the Carrion Golem. So this wand is absolutely disgusting, and it's only like 5 less minion damage than the craft highest tier, and it's 2 to 4% increased attack speed higher than the minion attack speed you craft, and it has the extra accuracy. The minion crit multi is similar to the minion damage mod, and so this is actually a lot of damage, and the crit multi fracture is really good because it's like an extra mod. Because in the past, when you finish up the wand, you would have minion damage, double damage, you would have +2, you'd have attack speed, and then there was an open suffix after you multied. You could have trigger attack speed on one, but then the other one you had the open mod. If you had attack speed, you could craft trigger, then you had an open suffix. If you didn't multi right, you could have a super god wand. In the end, there was an open suffix, and so now if you fracture this instead, you could have 79 minion damage, +2 minion crit multi 38, minion attack speed like 25, and trigger. This is disgusting. This is amazing. It's a higher top end for normal minion builds for crit multi, for crit, instead of just hatred, where they would do it at the end with that extra hatred mod. And then went for this one with the prefixes. I bought this. So somebody did the same thing. They did the +2 4-socket resonator craft, and then they hit minion damage 50 to 59, and I bought it, and I cleared the suffixes with keep prefix in the harvest. Then I multied. Super easy. Then this one, I did 2 double elevated Maven mods, so increased mana reservation efficiency is a Redeemer elevated mod, and then I have the elevated Elder mod. Nearby enemies take 12% increased physical damage. We had both these suffixes. I kept suffix, and then I had an open prefix. I did a keep suffix craft on the crafting bench, like protect suffix, and then I did life crafts in harvest, which obeys the keep suffix, like it doesn't re-roll the suffixes until I hit this, and I just got really lucky. What the fuck? So it's like the chestplate craft, but it's life as the thing instead of doing the chaos, and it wasn't a guarantee. It was really hard, and then I got super lucky. And so the chestplate was just like that. I did the double elevated mods, increased effective offering, increased effective curse. I hit chaos res with chaos craft from harvest, and then I also hit the phys chaos with the harvest chaos craft. I did a June unveil where I took away the cannot change suffix, and I hit avoid ailment on the unveil when I wanted to hit % increased life, and then I crafted life. I could craft more life, but I didn't have the chaos. The Amies, the Awakener Orb +2, and 1 Intelligence, 1 Phys, Life Craft because of the open prefix multi-modded, and Endurance Charge. That's how we get our Endurance Charges. 3 Endurance Charges for 12% physical damage reduction, 12% all res, LE res, and we get these from the Ami and the Rings. June Unveil, Suffix Craft, and then I got 44 dex, which is nice. I don't need this much dex, but it's actually nice. The rings, I bought these. So life, chaos res, open suffix, and this one, life, fire res, all res, open suffix, crafted minion endurance, minimum endurance. You want open prefix on these if you want the minimum minion damage. So to get minion damage, you need the item level to be 70, 75, or 80. There's 3 tiers of minion damage, obviously, respectively. 70 is the lowest, tier 3, and then 80 is the highest, tier 1. And so if you have an 80, you can hit tier 1 minion damage, which is sick. I have tier 3 and tier 2. This one's 81, but this one was only 75, so this could hit T2, this could hit T1, and you slime a Redeemer's Exalted Orb, and that's all it is, and you don't retry. You just, if you get it, you get it. If you miss, you get like projectile attack damage. You could sell the ring and go again, or you could just keep that ring. It's not bricked. It's nice that it's just an extra bonus mod if you had an open prefix and the right item level and enough money to buy a Redeemer's Exalted Orb. Pretty cool. And then I went for, I told you the Void Ailment Glove, and this was just reses and life. Eventually I want to be able to get life on the glove. So similar to the helmet where I kept the suffixes and re-roll the prefix with life, I want to do that and maybe get life done so then I could craft minion damage and I get an extra 20 minion damage. The belt, life, increased life, cold res, and lightning and chaos. I could get an extra res on here. It would be kind of nice. This is a hunter mod. Pretty expensive belt, pretty nice. And I did life mana modifier. And then the boot. And I like the Stygian because of the socket, so we are able to run life taunt blind, and the taunt blind is huge defenses for the build. And then we have our double elevated boot, just like the other 2 elevated things, elevated hunt, elevated shaping, and it's avoid poison, avoid bleed, avoid elemental ailments. Then we hit lightning res. Then I did a June unveil. And I got the life, the move speed, and I hit 80 life on the prefix, and I had an open prefix, so I crafted life, so it's 100 life, and then also 30 move speed. The chance to onslaught doesn't work because my minions don't kill for me, unless it was like a bleed or poison or something. Not it doesn't work. So yeah, don't worry about the onslaught, getting it that way. We get it through a silver flask. I'll mention it in here. I went for a 4% Regal to Exalted Orb Trinket, and you can go for a 2%. It's not that expensive, and it would make a difference in heist. If you hit Regal Orbs, you have a chance for Exalted. Pretty big difference. The upgrade past a Regal to Exalted is a Chaos to Exalted, which is 50x. So this is a very small thing to upgrade if you're doing heist, and it's part of my gear, so I figured I'd mention it. As part of the Golem package, we have the Anima Stone. I did Avoid Stun. Have the Primordial Might. I did Avoid Bleed. Primordial Might, the only thing that matters is Golem Life. Nothing else matters. Primordial Harmony, we go for the cooldown recovery rate and the Golem damage. I know this is 41, and it's because I bought it. I didn't actually Vaal this one. I just found it, and I was like, oh my god, I need the bleed. So I want 45, but I don't have it yet. And then this one, 45 and 20, and I Vaaled this myself, got Avoid Stun. I have the clip, very cool. And then the Zabakwa, name of Zabakwa to get the Divine Flesh, and I'm changing the implicit using Harvest. We have Effect of Shock, which is useless right now, and on my nodes I have Chaos Res, Lightning Res, and Evasion Rating. These are pretty good. You can reroll these with Divine Orbs, but it also rerolls the name of Zabakwa, and it took me like 30 Divines. The Large Cluster, Feasting Fiends Renewal, Vicious Bite, 70 item level 75 for Vicious Bite, and then you can get whatever suffix you want. And I did Feasting Fiends because I said that I got the aura effect through the chest plate. So if you don't have the aura effect through the chest plate, you need the Rotting Claws to get the extra Impale, and then it would be Rotting Claws Impale, Rotting Claws Vicious Bite Renewal. Then the mediums, I did 2 mediums. It's double Dread March, double Renewal, and they have the Avoid Poison. You don't need it. It's just immune to poison. This gave me extra strength, which is nice, and Born of Chaos. This one's some reses. Cannot be cursed with silence. I found I corrupted for this. I got Born of Chaos. And then down here I got a Watcher's Eye, and I bought 8% phys damage reduction while affected by determination, and 984 armor while affected by determination. So we have fat determination Watcher's Eye. Absolutely insane because we're running it. Technically, now that I have Vitality, I can also run a Vitality Watcher's Eye. Maybe there's other auras we could run just to run a Watcher's Eye, for example. Haste, Grace, very cool, very interesting that there's other options. Yep. For the Animate Guardian, I have a video on it. I'm going to redirect you to the video instead of going over it again in this. But basically, very quick, it's the chestplate, garb of the ephemeral, the weapon, Kingmaker. The glove is a glove with curse, corrupted, vulnerability on hit, increased effect 40 to 48. It's a corruption. Then you have the helmet with the nearby enemies take 9% increased physical damage. You will want to upgrade that to 12% elevated mod like mine. The reason I did both is I don't know if it stacks. Maybe it stacks, but also if I'm over here and the AG's over there, then we cover more area. We cover 2 spots. It's better than just 1, so why not? And it was a free extra mod, and it was a suffix. It was probably the best suffix I could Maven and then Awakener Orb guarantee at the beginning, so fuck it. And then the life was actually doable, and I did it, so hey, successful craft in the end. That's my Animate Guardian. And then res boot, move speed, just to cap the reses, because you have to cap him 27 over res. And you, with this tree, you're missing 27 over res for the LE weakness immunity, and then you also want 2 chaos res, and you also want like life, etc. That you whatever you can get. Then you need the nearby enemies take 9% increased physical damage helmet, the Kingmaker, curse glove, garb of the ephemeral, easy clap. Video on it if you want more specifics, just to make sure you don't make a mistake. Yeah. I don't think I went over the main link. So I have the Carrion Golem and it's level 30. So 30 is actually a power spike. For some people following, they might be wondering about their chestplate, their Carrion Golem levels, like what they should be doing. You want to get your Carrion Golem to 30. That's why we do all the levels. We have the cooldown points for the +6. You have the Ami for the +2. You could do the chest plate for the +2. We have the +2 from the Ascendancy. Once you get Carrion Golem to 30, it's a power spike. 31, 32, it's about half as effective per level as the 30. Like, imagine, let's say, I'll just give you a rough. Let's say you get 130,000 damage on 30, and then the next level would be 65,000. It's half the effectiveness of 30. 30 is such a huge spike, and then it's just like, woo, power trough. But 30 is huge, so you want to get it to this threshold at least. It's a big power spike, extremely worth the investment, and then it's less worth the investment after, diminishing returns basically. So then I wanted to say also my 21-23, the Divergent Carrion Golem is for the cooldown recovery rate. The main reason for this cooldown recovery stacking that I do in this build and you don't see in any other builds is because we have 3 abilities on a Carrion Golem that nobody talks about, and I'll tell you very, very quickly because I don't want to get nerfed again. But basically, there's 3 abilities. Everyone only focuses on the combo attack. There's 3. Combo attack is the single target, the one that speeds up and ramps and kills a boss with your Impale. Yep. The second one is a Leap Slam. That's why we use it in mapping, because it can jump over walls. It's very mobile. It's amazing. It just repositions itself without needing the move speed like other minions, etc. And not being body blocked, and there's no wall problems or terrain or anything. It's just amazing. So then the third one, so that one has a 4-second cooldown, and if you build 100 cooldown, increased cooldown recovery rate, 20 and the 45 times 2, so you get 100 plus ish. Basically, you're lowering the cooldown from 4 to 2. This is insane. You're doubling the mobility of the Carrion Golem in the power of a couple harmonies and the alt quality, and the power that you lose from dropping 2 eminences to this and you also get the regen for the Carrion Golem, so their survivability is actually better without having to invest more in their survivability. And then you also have the added benefit of the Divergent. This is only over like the 10% increased damage or whatever that you get from the gem. Maybe it's 20. It's not insane. Where cooldown recovery is the only sources of it are this, and we would love to have this in more builds like Zombie. Being able to lower their cooldown would be really nice. We use it in Stone Golems, and now I'll tell you about the third thing. There's another ability. So you know about Leap Slam, but there's a third one, and I don't know how people don't realize it because it's the biggest, flashiest thing. And it was like, it's our clear. We don't use Syndicate operatives to clear for us. We use Carrion Golems, and so the concept is the Carrion Golem, the third ability is Cascade. It sends out a wave. It'll shoot out this way, in front of it, and this way. So 3, like a claw, kind of like a cone in front of it, like a wave, and and it hits multiple circles. It's cascading. It's not instant. Like, it's not just a big fucking rectangle. It's circle, 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 cascading out spikes in 3 directions. Now that I've mentioned it, you'll see it. And that's its other ability. And that one used to have a 4-second cooldown. And previously, it also used to be twice as large. They nerfed the AoE by half. And they nerfed the cooldown by half. It's now 6 seconds. And so actually, it actually buffs the way I build, because it forces the way I build to do the thing I do. Because if it had less AoE and more cooldown, then the cooldown recovery rate that you build is more efficient. It actually reduces more because it had a bigger amount to reduce. And so we can take it down from the 6 to 3, which is huge. And that's for the clear spell, the clear AoE. And that's how we actually clear, and that's why we use Fearsome Force. And this minion's actually AoE, and it has clear, and we use it to clear, and people don't realize it, and then they have to go Syndicate Operatives because they do double Eminence, and they don't go Fearsome Force, and they actually are a single target Carrion Golem build, but we're an AoE hybrid Carrion Golem build, so that we can do everything. We're not only the single target that is still insane, but we also have the AoE package. And then this goes back to why I ran Plaguebringer for so long, and it was actually really good. When you consume a corpse recently, you and your minions have 30% increased area of effect. This is like 2 of the nodes traveling to Fearsome Force. So this 60% if you use a minion skill recently. Okay, so we'd have 45 without doing anything. AFK 45. Use a skill 60. But the skill was Flesh Offering, so we consumed. We would go to 90. We could double the AoE. There's all your AoE missing from the Carrion Golem, and that's when you start seeing the full screen cascades, and you're like, oh shit, this is insane. I don't need Syndicate Operatives. This build does it all. Carrion Golems are back. Holy shit. Yeah, until we swap to Trigger, and we can't reliably do this consistently, but technically we could do this for the for delving. This can work. For the power, reduce damage, the extra damage, and I will keep consuming because of the trigger. That can work. It's just that for bossing, this is inconsistent, which maybe we don't even need it for bossing because we're not even really using the Mistress for bossing anyway. But I like the Mistress skill effect duration for the phase run and the Molten Shell. Man, I'm torn. Yep, I'm torn. It's very interesting though where we're at, and these are all the build upgrades. I think that is full complete. It gives everyone a great idea of the whole build and why I've done everything, explained everything, all the gems, all the items, everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it helps people following it. And then, like I said, I think people will be able to use a lot of this before even reaching the insane end part that I'm at. For example, the trigger into lifetap is really cool. Potentially this cast when damage taken, Molten Shell, phase run, increased duration, Mistress thingy is insane. That package is really cool. The dropping the Spectre Harpy, going for dropping the Spell Echo, putting the zombie in the helmet, dropping the extra feeding frenzy, and the like, all of these things are insane that people can do in the old build, which saves so much room and might just be worth it immediately. I'm not at those breakpoints anymore to really look at them for everyone's exact spot. There's so many spots where people can be at because of the progression from the beginning to now is huge, but I think some of these can be implemented, and I think people will be I hope they appreciate it. Either way, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out, and now I'll see you guys in the next episode or today's stream. Bye.